All right.
Hello. Numerous shorts, documentaries, and features, including T. Lodent and Scooter. He earned his MFA in Florida State University Film School. MFA, sorry. He worked on various feature films while working in Los Angeles and worked as a producer, editor in network television. Another accomplishment of his is launching the Film Production Technology program at Broward College in August of 2015, building the program around with the most current technologies and techniques. Alexa?
All right. And now, before we begin, we would like to introduce our wonderfully talented cast, all members of FilmGate. Making her Why the Drama debut, it's the amazing Dorothy Baumgard, who will be playing Melody. The always astonishing Idanes Infante, who will be playing Danny. One of FilmGate's Why the Drama vets and dearest friend to all, Beau Blanchard, who will be playing the role of Harold. Woo! Making his Why the Drama debut as well, the talented Andres Infante, who will be playing Jacob. And another FilmGate vet makes his... Just kidding. Anyway, the narrator will be me, and I will also be playing the role of Sam, a little short little bit there. And the writer of this piece, once again, is Christopher Kreider.
Hope everything is good, Chris.
And yeah, we do. And now, without further ado, Under an Indifferent Moon. Motel room, sunset. Warm light from the setting sun cuts through dust particles in the motel room. Harold sits on the bed, next to a neat row of BDSM gear, full body chest and arm restraints.
You've done this before?
Harold nods.
You don't want anything else?
Harold shakes his head.
Like, you can't touch me or anything, but I can touch you. I got some more stuff in my trunk over there.
Harold hesitates, opens his mouth. We pan to Melody as she giggles at Harold. She hits a vape pen and exhales.
Are you sure you've done this before?
Yeah, I just
You know what you like. I get it. You got that gift for me?
Harold points to a small pile of bills on a table. Melody picks it up and counts it.
Thank you, baby.
Harold lies down.
Do you mind if I play some music?
yeah, go for it. Something ethereal.
Melody hits a song on her phone and begins the process of tying down Harold.
Is your friend coming soon?
What? I ain't enough company for you?
Harold hesitates to speak. Melody giggles again.
You're so jumpy. She'll be here in 5 minutes.
Harold swallows. Motel, sunset. A rickety car pulls up to the motel. Danny gets out, smoking a cigarette. Sam walks by with a leaf blower and looks at her. She stares him down, smoking.
What's your problem?
You have a halo, like an angel or something. She spits out her cigarette.
There's no leaf here.
Means I did my job. She nods and walks towards the rooms. Motel room, sunset. Melody sits next to a visibly uncomfortable Harold, reading her phone.
Cozy?
Real cozy.
There's a knock on the door. Melody gets up and lets Danny in.
Hey, bitch. Hot tricks.
Danielle, please.
Danny looks at Harold.
He's cute. He's already gift wrapped it.
I'm right here.
You're cute.
Danny walks over and pulls a chair up next to the bed. She unzips her backpack.
You like this, right? You're all tied down. We can do whatever we want to you.
Danielle. I'm sorry, Harold.
Don't worry about it. It's fine.
Harold, huh? I didn't know there were any Harold left.
She pulls out a small baggie of powder.
This is horse.
Whoa, what is that?
Cat, mojo, whatever you want to call it.
That's not...
That's not what I asked for. I need pills. Oxys. I need opiates.
Guess what, buddy boy? Opiates are like a molecule away from being heroin anyway. So this is like Trader Joe's of opiate.
I don't like needles.
Oh, okay, Mr. BDSM doesn't like pain. That's weird.
I'm not going to tell you again not to talk to my clients like that, Danielle. I'm trying to create a safe space.
Sorry, Miss Melody.
Melody hits her vape. Danny strokes Harold's hair.
Hey, I'll show you how easy it is. A little pain is a small price to pay to feel nothing at all, right?
Harold looks at Melody, who shrugs.
I don't fuck around with this stuff, but if Danny says it's good, I trust her.
Danny holds the powder between two fingers.
My boy Jacob tells me that this is the best he's ever had in America. He went to Bangkok 3 years ago and he wouldn't shut up about it. But apparently the drugs there are insane.
Harold nods.
Just do it.
You got the money?
My wallet's in my jeans. Take whatever you need.
Oh man, he's begging for it.
Danielle,
Danny chuckles and pulls on some rubber gloves, then removes a syringe from a plastic seal.
try to make this quick, Danny. I don't like needles either.
I can do it fast or I can do it right. Or do you want this lovely evening to end up in the bloodbath?
She pulls out a lighter and a spoon and begins to cook up the heroin and fill the needle before tapping out the air bubbles.
My mom used to sing me a song at the bedtime. Do you want to hear it, Harold?
Sure.
She ties up Harold's arm and disinfects the area with a cotton ball. She runs her fingers through his hair.
Down by the bay, where the watermelon grows, back to my home, I dare not to go.
She punches a needle in. He grunts in pain. She hits the plunger. Harold, as he looks over at Danny, and she begins to go out of focus.
Or if I do, my mother will say.
She looks at Melody, and they smile at each other.
Have you ever seen
Never
a
seen a
moose
moose
hissing
hissing
a
a
goose?
goose.
They laugh. Harold's eyes flutter. Danny looks at him.
He's out.
They sit for a moment, looking at Harold.
Fucking weirdo.
You're telling me. He was giving me bad vibes. Boy acts like a Minnesota insult.
I can obviously understand getting really high.
She goes to the pants on the floor and pulls out the wallet.
And I guess I can understand having a lovely lady tie me up and tickle my balls or whatever.
Thank you.
But what's the need for both of us here for?
Maybe he sleepwalks.
They look at him.
The mind of a junkie is an enigma. You want to get high?
I want to eat.
Well, get your coat and we'll do both.
Car, night. There's a pile of French fries on the dashboard next to a cup of ketchup. Melody and Danny alternately grab fries and dip them. They hold cheeseburgers in their other hands.
I've been loving this new Prince album.
I thought he was dead.
He is dead. It's a posthumous release.
Posthumous?
Yeah, like after death release.
That's really cool. David Bowie hasn't put shit out since he died.
That's why I love Prince, girl. He doesn't stop.
Where's Dylan? Tonight. He usually is waiting outside playing Switch.
I did that once. He's staying with his sister tonight.
It must be nice to have family you can count on.
Danny puts down her burger and pulls out Harold's wallet.
You stole his fucking wallet?
He's not going anywhere. I'll give it back.
Then why did you take it?
I'm curious.
She pulls stuff out of the wallet.
Well, look, you're still gonna give me a ride back here tomorrow, right?
Of course.
Good. Because I gotta wake his ass up in the morning before checkout.
He's from New Mexico. Interesting. He's an organ donor. He saw the movie Monsters University at some point.
She finds a picture. It's Harold and Lisa, smiling. Danny shows the picture to Melody.
What do you think? Wife? Sister? Girlfriend?
Definitely not his sister. I hope.
She takes the picture.
Look at him. He's so happy. Light's drained out of his eyes or something.
Maybe he got divorced and came to Miami
Why Miami?
to do heroin and have some hot chick tie him up. I don't know.
Danny sparks a joint.
Let's kill this thing.
As Danny passes the joint to Melody, she falls into a fit of coughs. Her phone rings.
Shit. Shit.
The phone reads Jacob, who emerges in a split screen as Danny picks up.
Hey, sugar teeth. What are you wearing?
Stop fucking around, Danny.
Okay, Jesus. What's the matter?
That last batch of tomatoes I gave you was a bad batch, alright?
What? Jacob, you fuck. You say there were good tomatoes.
Well, it turns out those tomatoes were mostly fentanyl.
You get down, asshole.
Yeah, and don't call me anymore.
Jacob hangs up and destroys his phone. Danny stares at hers. As the split screen recedes, Melody is staring at Danny while chewing a french fry.
What's wrong?
We gotta go back.
Danny
to
puts the car in gear.
Got to go back to the motel.
They peel out. Motel room, night. Harold lies in darkness, lit partially by static on a television. Melody and Danny enter. Melody rushes over to Harold and holds him by the head.
Oh God, he's thrown up.
Danny turns on the light and checks Harold's pulse.
Yeah. This dude is dead.
No. Fuck, Danny, the one time I asked you for a favor.
I'm sorry, Melody. I don't make a habit of doing this to my clients either.
Danny stands up, pacing.
Okay. This place is cash only. We clean up the room, we dump him on the street somewhere, and boom, he's just another overdose.
Melody looks at Harold, tearing up.
You're awfully fucking calm.
No, I'm horrified. But I'd be lying if I say I hadn't thought about this. Now get your weird strap off him before his blood settles, or it's gonna look weirder. I'm gonna break into the utility closet.
Isn't it? Should we call someone?
Whoever we call, the cops will get involved, and this is what they call manslaughter, Melody. Do as I say, and we'll hate ourselves later.
Danny steps out. Melody cries as she undoes the straps. Motel, night. The clouds part and the full moon is revealed. Danny pulls out some garbage bags, which they pull over Harold's body. Danny looks around outside the door before kicking it open. They drag the body towards the car. Harold's hand flops out. Melody leans down and tucks it back in.
This is wrong.
Sure it is.
She hoists Melody back up.
I gotta make some room in my trunk. Go in there, clean everything you think we might have touched, and get ready to roll.
Melody nods tearfully and goes back inside. Danny pops open her trunk behind her. The garage bag begins twitching. Motel room, night. Still crying, Melody cleans every surface off the room with a spray bottle of disinfectant and a rag. Parking lot, night. Danny pulls a tank of gas, a cooler, a duffel bag out of her trunk. The garbage bags continue to twitch until a hairy, clawed hand shreds through the plastic. Slowly, Harold emerges from the bag, twisted and rabid, a wolf in human's clothing. As he approaches, stumbling, Danny becomes aware of his approach and begins searching through the trunk. Harold falls to his hands and begins crawling on all fours. Danny pulls out a tire iron and turns around.
All right, asshole.
She looks down at Harold, confused.
What the fuck?
Motel room night. Melody hears Danny and goes to the window to see. Parking lot. Harold lunges at Danny, who whacks him across the face with the tire iron. He collapses. Danny is horrified.
Oh God, Harold!
Harold's head snaps up. His eyes are clouded and he bares his protruding canine teeth before lunging at Danny, knocking her down. She hits her head. Harold crawls over and presses down on her bloody head as he bites into her exposed neck. She screams, blood running out of her mouth. Motel room night. Melody watches through the window, shocked. Sam steps out, pulling a hammer from his belt. Sam. Who the fuck broke into my utility closet? Harold whips his head up from Danny's corpse, face covered in gore. He howls at the moon and starts crawling over to Sam. He points his hammer at him. You're fucked up if you get any closer, man. Harold scurries towards Sam. Sam whacks him with the hammer and he hits the ground. Blood and teeth falling onto the pavement. Sam cautiously looks down at Harold, whose eyes snap open. He bites onto Sam's ankle. Sam screams and hits Harold with the hammer in vain, trying to step back and shake him off. Instead, he falls down and Harold overtakes him. Motel room night. Sam screams and abruptly stops with his extermination. Melody is breathing heavily. She opens the door as quietly as possible and walks out. Motel room. On the other side of the parking lot, Harold is still eating Sam. Melody takes off her heels and begins walking over to Danny, looking sadly at the sprawled body of her friend. She struggles not to throw up as she digs through Danny's pockets and pulls out her keys, dripping with blood. As the keys jingle, Harold looks up from Sam's corpse. Melody walks quietly to the car as Harold leaps onto the car behind her, eyes twinkling like that nocturnal predator that he is. She unlocks the door, but can't stop herself from looking over her shoulder at Harold. He leaps down on her and she screams. Motel room, morning. Harold wakes up, bloody. He looks around.
Oh, no. Oh.
He sobs, angry. Bathroom, morning. Harold falls to his knees and vomits up blood. He seems to gag and retches into his throat. He pulls out a severed finger with nail polish. He looks at it for a moment before dropping it to the toilet. Harold opens the safe where a revolver and a single silver bullet sit. Harold cooks up some heroin in a spoon. He looks at the picture of his wife, which is smeared with blood.
Sometimes I wish I had the strength to leave you first. Before you came home smelling like another man with teeth marks all over your arm.
He fills the needle and ties off his arm.
I didn't care. I did the laundry and cooked dinner because I was happy. I was just happy you were back.
He injects the needle and sighs.
Your hair was shining in the moonlight, and I remember thinking, for real, that I was a lucky man. Then you turned around and looked at me, and your eyes were empty.
He picks up the revolver and runs the barrel over his temple.
Felt like our honeymoon almost. Then I'm in the hospital, and the policeman asked me all about where you went, and I wondered myself.
He falls over, looking at the picture.
You disappeared so completely. And you left this fucking curse. The only thing we share anymore.
He rolls onto his back.
That was 2 years ago, Maria. Let's start with our cat. Remember, mister? I've killed at least 6 people. 2,000 miles between me and our house.
He sings.
Down by the bay, where the watermelon grows. Back to my home, I dare not go.
He holds up the gun.
This may be my last chance, Maria. I bought a silver bullet off of eBay. Remember when I tried slitting my wrists and I woke up in the morgue? I got the bullet for myself, Maria. It's my escape pod.
He puts it down and picks up the picture.
But I keep going. Because I still believe I'll find you. So that we can be monsters together.
He closes his eyes. The door of the motel opens. Harold snaps up, looking at the doorway with wide eyes.
Thank you, everybody. That is it. A round of applause for everybody. Beautiful. This is an extremely important phase of filmmaking. Thank you all who made this possible, our dear members who participated on this first session of the year. And as always, we bring in our valuable special guest advisors to give their input on what was presented this evening. So, Jessica, I'll leave the floor to you guys.
Get back on here. All right, can you guys see and hear me? Okay.
Yep.
All right, so I guess I'll go first. I'll start with the script. The script was really, I think it's a good start. I would say it still needs a little bit of refining. My initial thoughts were the pacing was a bit off in the beginning. I think we take too long to get to that climatic moment. I've been trained and of the mindset that, like, yes, within the first 10 pages, you should be hooking your reader. But at the same time, like, though it eventually got to that, I guess the action started, around like when he turned into a wolf. I still feel like we could have probably cut down that scene a bit just to make the pacing feel a little bit better, especially it being a horror film, right? Like, this isn't a drama, so we don't really need to spend quite as much time, with these people that are about to be dead anyway in a few pages. So I think, yes, it's important, we can establish a little bit of character for the victims, but I think we spend too much time focusing on the victims and not enough time focusing on our protagonist, is because he's the one we should be getting attached to, because he's the one we're going to be spending this movie with. And I think that needs to be a bit more established in the first 10 pages than it is. I liked where you guys were going at the end with, just planting kind of seeds there about his wife, like what, possibly happened there. Also his drug addiction. It's definitely an interesting way to do that scene, like to get that exposition out there. It's very hard to judge a script off of the first 10 pages alone, because I don't really see where everything is going, because I might read the whole script and find out, hey, you know what, you really didn't need to spend so much time talking about the relationship with the wife, because you really explore it in depth later on. And you want to leave a little bit of surprise. You want the audience to kind of, have something to pay off at the end, right? So I would maybe, like I said, just not reading the whole script, but just thinking from what I hear from the story, I would maybe keep the wife, his relationship with her and what happened between them a little bit more of a secret. So you have something to reveal later on and just kind of pay that off toward the end. And yeah, I mean, I think, again, it's really, really difficult to just do it off of 10 pages, because I don't want to like give any like feedback, and, it's not, 100% fair because I'm not reading the whole script. But yeah, I mean, I think the bones of it are good. I just think it needs a little bit of refinement and tweaking, especially, just to kind of get us attached to Harold there in the beginning. So we want to stay with him for the next, 80 or so pages that are in the script. as far as performances go, I think you guys all did a great job. I think all of you are, Bo, I've worked with you before. I think you're great. You got great presence, and you're good with your characters. And Dorothea, I think you did really, really well as well. I think I liked how, and I know it's hard with the Zoom style and not being able to really physically move and also work off your actor, because I think that's such a big part of acting, guys. And I totally understand that. You need to work off your scene partner, and to try to do that, even the most greatest actors, I'm sure, would find that to be a little bit of a struggle. But I think that, you were still able to get into your character, and I still felt like you weren't you, which is the point of acting. You were actually getting into your character. And same thing with Bo. And I'm sorry, what I'm looking at here, the name. What was the name of your name for Danny? Yes. Oh, you're muted. Sorry.
Adonis.
Adonis. Okay. Cool. And Adonis, I think you did a good job. I think again, just maybe just a little bit more pacing when you're reading some of the lines. And same thing, guys, just take your time. You don't need to rush. I mean, it might feel that way because of the setting, but yeah, I would definitely take time to work into your characters. Even if it's not written in the script, find those pauses, find those moments to really add in the flair for that character. Bo, he added in a line that wasn't in the script, and I know some directors don't like that. I personally like that because I think it helps the actors get into their characters. So I'm always been a big advocate of, if the director's okay with that, to not be afraid to get in there. And if it naturally feels like you should be saying a different word than what's on the script and it's going to result in a better performance, go ahead and do it. And yeah, I think that's it for me. I feel like I'm talking too much, so I'm going to stop. Great job, guys. Awesome work.
I guess it's my turn. Great job, everyone. It was a great read. I echo a lot of the same things. Regarding the script, without knowing what Harold's agenda is in the opening scene, it's a little confusing to me. And I also agree that there's a lot of investment in three characters that immediately die. What I'd like to know, I have a lot of questions. What is it with the opiates that works for him? And he said he killed 6 people in 2 years. Are 3 of those the ones that just happened? And if it's over 3 years, over 2 years, 3 people, then I don't understand then the urgency, because that's a long time. And so yeah, it's just, it would be really helpful to know who these characters are, to be able to understand what's going on in this first scene. The monologue, that is, this expositional monologue, I think she's right about, it was giving too much information right away. I think if it's something that we would see revealed throughout the feature script, then it would work a lot better. I think sitting and watching somebody just pour their heart out, and just feed us all this background in a monologue may be a little much, too much information at one time. But aside from that, I found the action fun. I would have liked to have gotten to it quicker, and the reading was great. Great job, everyone.
Alrighty, Sam, is there any Want to give any feedback to our feedbackers?
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your feedback. I really do appreciate it. And I actually kind of echo your sentiments as well. I'd like to definitely take another swing at this script myself and take your kind critiques to heart. As for the acting, I do have some feedback, some general character ideas, and some more specifically of lines in the script if ever, for our second reading. All right, Bo, I think you did very solidly with your work. You're very dramatic, and at the end, you really captured that monologue quite concise, in my opinion. I think, though, for right before you're about to get knocked out, play it a little more rushed. Like you want that stuff now. Like I didn't feel that you need it now because time's running short. You're gonna transform if you don't get this shit right now. You got to get it now. And with the exception of the last line when she's like, "Do you want to sing? You want me to sing the song to you?" You're like, you're about to really just let her have it, but then you bite your tongue. You're like, "Sure, okay, yeah." Oh, you're muted.
It's so tough to do that with the microphone. Why?
No
Why?
problem.
Yeah, that's a couple questions. Like, why do I bite my tongue?
Well, you don't bite. You're not literally biting your tongue. You're just kind of like
Yeah.
stopping yourself
I know, but like, why?
because you don't want to be too much of a jerk.
Okay. And you didn't mind the end monologue. I'm gonna be honest. Before this, I didn't get that last page. Like before tonight, so I didn't see that last portion. But just to be perfectly clear, he's looking for his wife. He's not sad, so she's not dead whatsoever. Like he's on a journey to find her, right?
As far as he knows, she's out there, and he's gonna find her, or at least that's what he was hoping to do. And honestly, I
Perfect.
think we
Cool.
definitely
Thank
need
you.
a higher body count for him to feel that sad after 3 years. All right, next up, Dorothy. I think you also did quite a good job. If I could make any kind of general character critique, I know this is going to sound odd, but your character is almost kind of like a therapist. Like when you say that you're trying to create a safe space, you actually do want to create a safe space, and you're actually trying to be therapeutic to your client. Which I want to feel that like trying to be really kind kind of feeling when he's awake anyway. When he's out, you're a little more relaxed with Dorothy. With Danny. And
Okay.
that's all I can really say. What did you feel about the character?
I got that vibe from her that she was kind of like she does the BDSM stuff, but she also like cares about her clients and she wants them to be comfortable with her because that whole environment of BDSM is, especially with if he's a new, I guess, client, you know. So yeah, I got that vibe a little bit. So yeah, I like your feedback about I should be a little bit more caring, trying to create a nice space, more respectful of him and his time, especially when Danny comes in and kind of starts like acting all like crazy and out of sorts.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, I think you did a good job. Despite at very at good points, in my opinion. And then, as for Adinas.
Danis. It's like with an E, but it's actually an I. So Danis.
Oh, okay. So I got it spelt correctly. All right, Dennis. I love the first half of your character. Like, yeah, I really enjoy how you're playing up this kind of smarmy gangster kind of character. I think that's really cool. And all I can say is, after Harold is out, when you're just around Melody, you're kind of like, all right, I can stop playing this part and I can just be myself.
Got it.
Like, so, you're kind of this hood rat when you're around other people and when you're around clients. So it's kind of this weird intimidation move. But when you're around Melody, you're just, cool. I'm with my friend. We're friends outside of work. It's fine. I don't have to play this different character.
Got it.
And then I have a specific line. someone here. Oh, just when you're saying, "Oh, you already got him gift wrapped," he's cute, and then he's like, "I can hear you." Play it off like you actually think he's deaf, and you're just like, "You're cute."
Okay. Okay. Got it.
Other than that, I think you did a fantastic job yourself.
Thank you.
I would also like to hear the thoughts of the actors of like what they felt about the script and like their general feedback if they.
Oh, absolutely.
Sure.
Please tell me.
For me, it's kind of funny because I'm the opposite of that character. I'm so girly and feminine. And it was really funny for me playing this. Like, it was a new thing I was doing. Ashley kind of liked it though. And about the script, I kind of enjoyed. I'm not a horror movie lover. I'm kind of a freaking out that hides under the bed when the horror movie's on. But it was really fun, and I was so happy to be part of it. Thank you, guys. Thank you.
I'm glad you could join.
I really like the script too. I think I like what they were saying to get to like the horror part sooner. And I want to know more about like the relationship with the wife. And I don't know if like if this script is going to be continued on from that point and then we find out, or like if it's just going to be like a short, like this short of the script, but I like maybe throw a little bit more in about the wife so there can be more like I guess issue between the two characters, like him trying to find his like wife, what happened, it really intrigues me.
And I just one more thing, I really I do echo up everyone else. I did feel that the first part was too long to get into the action, and then I was like expecting to see what happened with the wife, like I wanted to know more about what that relationship, right? All right. Dad, what do you think?
I really like it. I mean, this was a very fun activity for me. I never expected to be here. Like when my sister told me, I was like, oh my God, this is so nice. And I think you guys did an amazing job. I really like the script. And I'm looking forward to see what comes out of it.
Thank you. I'm glad you could join us. Yeah, you did a great job as that character, by the way. You're very trying to get the word out and get leaving, because the police are at your door.
You guys were muted for that. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. Well.
Yeah, that good.
Bo, any thoughts? Also, like before we started, I know you did like a comment on werewolves not being told for a while. You could also expand on that a little bit.
Okay, well, obviously I love werewolves. I love horror. I'm excited for every single Cloverfield movie that's ever been out and will ever come out. Because God, John Goodman was nuts in 10th Lane, but that's besides the point. In your opinion, what do you think makes this werewolf movie different from other ones?
Well, I'd say I know everyone's not too big of a fan of sticking around with the victims, but I always find it odd that we don't get to know the victims and the characters within the horror so well. And that's kind of what we wanted to do with this movie, was really focus on the people and feel how bad it was that these people get hurt when that happens. Because I don't know how many horror movies can you count where we watch the victims and then you're like, oh man, really feel bad for what's their name, that guy. That's one thing. The second thing, really visceral, almost realistic werewolf. Like, either the werewolf is this big magic wolf beast, or it's still got kind of wolfy features. We want to try and almost like a rabid man, kind of like the zombies in 21 Days Later, or is it 21 Weeks Later?
28 Days Later, sir.
28 Days Later. Thank you. Good movie.
Favorite movie.
And much like how they have the rage zombies in that one, it's kind of like, rabies with humans, with a little bit of a canine transformation. We do have a background baloney reason for what happens to him, but that's not too important to the script reading at this point. Plus, we're still working it out.
Cool.
But those are the two main reasons. More focus on the victims, and a really gritty werewolf.
Cool. Okay. That's it for me. That sounds pretty cool.
And Sam, I don't know if you could tell us a little bit more of like the complete script. Tell our advisors and the audience and the actors a little bit of what you guys left out. What it's more like the overall, perhaps, without, of course, like telling too much.
Oh, of course not. Because to be honest, we don't have a specific point of where it's going to go yet. We have a few main ideas. For the most part, we'd like to do it as a road movie. It's a road trip with the werewolf. He's going town to town. The final scene would almost be more like the climax or like the lowest point in the character. He's gone to actually a couple towns now. He's just traveling all throughout the tip of Miami, all across down South Florida, trying to find his wife because he's got an actual reason to believe that his wife is in that area. He received a postcard from her. He's not sure what that could possibly mean. Another thing that we were thinking is that Melody and Danny survive, and they become werewolves themselves. And it's kind of a wacky comedy horror with them as they figure out their werewolf powers.
I really thought that was going to happen. When I was reading, I was like, maybe they become now werewolves, like werewolves.
I like that idea.
How many female werewolves are there in the genre?
We want the spin-off.
That's one idea.
They would definitely have fun, I think, going around town finding different guys to mess with.
Exactly. Wouldn't that be fun?
Yeah, definitely.
But the main focus feature would be on Harold and the possibility of being followed by either criminals, maybe he owes some drugs, maybe because he does ask for a lot of drugs. And he couldn't possibly have that much money. So he's probably tracked down by a lot of drug dealers for debts. We're not sure if there might be a werewolf hunter. We might just replace that with people wanting his debts instead. Because werewolf hunters, dime a dozen, and, how many times is there when there's a monster world and there's no hunters that are aware of these monsters, and it's just this monster all alone in this world without any knowledge of him being there, which is also why he wants to find his wife, because they're the only ones in the world. But those are our main ideas so far. I don't know if anybody's got feedback for those possibilities.
I think if he's immortal, maybe he doesn't have that trouble to find money, right? Maybe he kinds of steal things and gets money.
Or maybe he just killed the drug dealers.
Could.
That was my first thought. If you own me, I just kill you because I can. I'm a werewolf.
Jessica, what do you guys think?
It's just, first off, it's totally different way than I write. I have to, and this is completely different to each person. I have to kind of know where the script is heading and basically all of the plot points before I start writing, because I think so much of what you put in those first 10 or 15 pages is going to be dictated by where the story is eventually going to go. Because you might realize hey, I'm going to do that, so I need to, make sure to this in the beginning, or maybe I started off with a scene with him and his wife before they broke up to give context to what's happening, just whatever, different things. I'm trying to, I guess I think you could go a lot of different directions with this. And ultimately, if you wanted to follow Harold, That's cool. One thing I thought that you were, you know, and as far as like the victims and spending more time with the victims, I totally agree with that. I think that is important, but I still think you can do that with, you can build character with less. You know, I think that's a big misconception. Like just because we spend 4 pages with them, you know, doesn't, I mean, look, it's all in your writing. If you're a good writer, you can build character in 1 or 2 pages, really, just by little things that the person does or says, or how you structure the scene. Maybe like, you know, for her, like right before she goes into, you know, this call with Harold, you know, Dorothea's character calls her son to say, hey baby, I love you, I'll see you when I'm done, you know, I'll be home in a few hours or something. And then that makes us care about her a little more because she's a mom. So now we think, oh, this poor woman's got a kid back home and now she's been killed, right? So you did that instead of spending, you know, this time between her and Danny, which, you know, you still, even though we spent time with them, I mean, it wasn't enough to really get us quite attached to them either. In a way, you know, it's like it was a good start if we were going to maybe be spending more time with them. Like I honestly thought for a second that you might have let Dorothea's character live right when she was about to get in the car. And I thought that would have been cool because, you know, maybe somehow like she, you know, her and Harold cross paths and it's like, you know, they have a, you know, she either becomes a werewolf and then they have like a weird relationship, and which could be further complicated because he's still in love with his wife and trying to get over that. And maybe he starts to have feelings for her, which kind of complicates things. And it's so, I mean, you could just go in so many different ways, but again, that's just where my head went with it, which I thought would be interesting. But yeah, you know, that's just my thought. You could really, like I said, you could go so many different directions to what you said. You could do horror comedy, or you can just do like a straight, like, you know, Ari Aster style character study on what it would be like to be a werewolf, which if that's where you're going for, or if that's what you're going for, I would definitely then say we need to spend way more time with Harold in those first 10 pages. And we really need to get more of a sense of him as a character, at least his backstory.
Agreed. And I think a Melody character, you know, should she survive, could make a, you know, a good B story where maybe she seeks revenge or you know, looks for him and perhaps leads a path of destruction of her own. I like the idea of the two women becoming werewolves and you know, making it into a comedy. I think that would be an interesting you know, path to go with. But yeah, you know, I echo Jessica's thoughts, and I think the character should be fully developed before even writing any part of the script, and you know, and also the whole plot mapped out really before getting into that, because you can veer off course or you know, just spend many pages going nowhere if you don't have a very tight map for where you want to go with your story.
Thank you. I definitely share your sentiments. Brevity is the soul of wit. And definitely what I'm feeling with that one. I mean, Harold is the more important character, certainly in this version of the script.
Awesome. That was great. So everybody, we're about run out of time, but I would like to really quickly give thank you, shout outs to once again to everybody that was here. Thank you for sticking around, everybody. I'm sure that we'll see each other soon again. Jessica, please don't feel that you're talking too much. We loved everything that you said. Your feedback is always welcome. Yes, please, if you have anything that you would like to present with us, please feel free. Always good to have you here. Likewise, you're always really good, honest, direct with your feedback. We appreciate it. Your academics really helps us, and thank you again for your time. Dorothea, this is your first experience. Thank you so much. I hope you liked it. I hope you want to join in another one. Hopefully Sam has that little new person for the cast. And Idanis también. Andres, so they did wonderful. They've been lovely throughout our little expedition. They've worked in Idanis worked in a previous wider drama, and also we're gonna do something pretty special very soon. We'll announce it later. Bo, again, you're a master. Thank you so much. Bo right now is in Atlanta, imagine. So thank you so much for being part of this. And Sam, please let Chris know that we would like to invite, if you guys want another part of the script, you're open to try another Why the Drama later on in the future, if you guys like the format. And
absolutely
would be no trouble. So just to sign off really quick. So just to remind our audience, we do this every 2 weeks. It's always on Tuesdays, and we connect talent. We grab projects that want to be filmed around the region, and if you have a scene that you'd like to read, a cold read with some of our actors, your own, have a little bit of feedback from our special guest, you can submit your Why the Drama at info@film-gate.org with the subject WTD or Why the Drama. And just announce our next Why the Drama, so in 2 more Tuesdays, we'll have Kayla Perez's Isolation script. It's a pretty personal but a very interesting read, character script. She's in pre-production, and I think people will be very, very pleased to see how it unfolds. So please join us for that one. And if you'd like to join our ongoing film community, please join our Discord server. I believe my technical man is showing you guys a QR code at the moment. So you guys could feel free to connect. You could connect by going into our Discord. You could talk with other people in the film industry in Florida. And the members have exclusive access to like the Why the Drama group. So these guys over here have a little bit more perks, and they could talk to exclusivity. That we also have like an actors group, networking groups, which are only exclusive for members. So remember, if you want to become a member, join us. You just have to go to FilmGate.Miami and click on membership. And that's our show, everybody. Thank you once again. And the applause. Unmute yourselves from last time. Let's do this correctly, because every time we do it wrong.
Yay!
Yeah. And that's sign off.
Ciao.
Have a good one, everyone.
Thank you.
Later, guys.
Bye.
Take it easy.